All right. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right. Let's see. Hope you were all having a magnificent start to your day. Hope you had a wonderful Easter. Celebrate good times with family, and maybe get some crawfish. Pelicans lose game one last night. Unenviable task. Win this really emotional play-in game on the road on Friday, and then quick turnaround. You got to basically fly Saturday and then play Sunday against the best team in the NBA. Really, it was rough early. Pels trailed by double digits most of the game. They made their charge late in the third quarter and into the fourth, got it down to 6. But then a spurt by Phoenix, and Suns end up winning by 11, 110-99. So not a gigantic surprise. I'm not being negative. It's just the reality. You're an 8 seed in the playoffs for the first time in 4 years, and you had to grind to play your way in, and now you're playing the best team in the NBA. Like, there's a reason why they're the 1 seed and you're the 8. So I don't expect this series to go well. I do not expect the Pelicans to win it. Before it started, I felt and said if they win 1, I would take that as a victory. Being here for this team right now is the victory. Overcoming the 1-12 start, the 3-13 start, acquiring McCollum, not having Zion all year, Brandon Ingram missing 20-plus games, to have still got to the play-in, then to win it and be in the playoffs. This is all growth for this team. So yes, would love to see them win the series and shock everybody. I don't think that's going to happen realistically. And they look like they had some nerves yesterday. They look like they were the 8 playing the 1. So hopefully they can make some adjustments and rally and make it a competitive series. All right, let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. You know the drill, fire away, anything about anything. Draft a week from Thursday, really looking forward to that. Tigers held another scrimmage in Tiger Stadium or their first scrimmage in Tiger Stadium this past Saturday. Spring game coming up this Saturday, so going to be a busy week. Baseball Tigers are at home this week, so busy week. Let's see. All right, Mark, will the Pelicans sell out playoff home games next week in the Smoothie King Center? Absolutely. And will Zion play? Absolutely not. Gary Petrie, good morning. Ricky Lambert, what's going on? Jeff McKithen, Stephen Fry, Courtney Storer, good morning. Wonderful Easter weekend. Great. Good to hear that. Ron Ritchie, Kelly Gross, David Wallace, good morning. Good morning. Randall Offrecht. Hey, Juan, good morning, man. Taylor Trepanier, good morning. Wendell Norman, Chualt, 1, good morning. Randall, hell of a game of the Pels. I'm proud of them. The rally was impressive. I mean, they were pretty much down and out. Then they hit themselves a nice little spurt, like an 18-2 spurt, something. Maybe it was like 18-7, I think. 18-6, I think was the spurt. So they hit themselves a nice little spurt and made a game of it, and had some opportunities, man. But when you exert that much energy in the comeback, eventually you'll be on fumes, and that's when they'll counterpunch. It's almost like a fighter. Like if you know you're down on the cards and you need a knockout, and you expend all this energy going for the knockout, and if you don't get it, then you're gassed, and now you got a dangerous fighter coming at you. It's kind of what happened last night. Hey, Trivia Carter, good morning. Tim Gotro. Taylor, any chance to move Jay Ward back to corner to help with the depth? So that's a good question, Taylor. And I think we have asked that as well. I don't think that's the plan as of right now, but they could. And remember, Jay Ward never played on the outside. He played the nickel in his freshman season. And I think you feel good about nickel because you got Greg Brooks there, and Sage Ryan played really well there last year. So I'd probably not, Taylor. I mean, I think they like the idea of Jay Ward and Major Burns at safety. Joe Fouché can play sort of that box safety. Brooks can play the nickel. So if that's the case, you're talking about. And keep in mind, Major Burns isn't out there right now. So is it possible that Fouché is taking Major Burns' spot? Maybe. So no, I think what I'll be most interested in, Taylor, is what guy of the young players kind of emerges, right? You've got Demarius McGee, Radarius Jones, you got Terrence Welch coming in. You've Jordan Allen. So we always see it. I mean, some young cornerback always just emerges, be it out of necessity or whatever. I mean, like Stingley was just ready to roll. Ricks had to play, but was 5-star. McLaughlin, I guess McLaughlin was a second-year player, but McLaughlin played as a freshman. So, I just think I'm going to be interested to see which one of those guys steps up. And I have a feeling we'll probably see one of them flash in the spring game. I don't know who it'll be, but I think we'll see one of them flash. But specifically about Jay Ward moving back, not that I've heard. Colton Mack, morning Matt, latest on Butte, a lot of unsettling rumors floating. I mean, I can make a call, but my understanding is that he's here. I mean, and whenever... Look, when Brian Kelly gave the answer about Kayshon Butte, it made a lot of people's ears kind of perk up. But I think what you have is a situation where it was a very undisciplined roster, program, etc. under Ed Ogeron. Guys were allowed to get away with a lot of things, especially star players, and Brian Kelly's not really tolerating that. And so I think you've had a tough transition for some guys. And Kayshon's one of them. But they need him, and he's a great player, and it's probably doubly tough for him because he's injured. He can't be out on the field playing, but I think he'll be here. Hey, Larry Gardner, good morning. Alex Day, good morning. Looks like you got your internet back. Yeah, we did, Alex. So, so on Saturday around noon, we had the Cox technician come by and got a new modem and all that sort of stuff, upgraded to their new whatever Cox Home Life, whatever their fastest internet thing is. So that's what we have now. All right, Ronnie Duke, Scott McClendon. Are the post crawfish sweats a real thing? Absolutely. Now, Scott, I'm going to tell you this. I took it easy yesterday. Saturday with the crawfish, like when I went to bed Saturday, I woke up Saturday night, Sunday morning, like 3 a.m., just like drenched. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Like if hours later, like middle of the night. But yeah, I either broke a fever or broke out in the sweats, whatever, in the middle of the night, for sure. Had to change my shirt. It was gross. So that's a real thing, bro. Well, in fact, we're talking about the Pels in April, and that the fan base is responding in a big win for the franchise. Is a big win for the franchise flock up. Yeah, man. I mean, there's two ways I look at it. Number one, selfishly, is, I always want more to talk about, right? I want more interesting things to talk about. So, if the fan base is going to be interested in the Pels, awesome. That's more content I can talk about in the spring. Winter and spring, yes. But fall, it's still hard to justify. Like, I can't talk about the Pelicans in October when the Saints and LSU are going. Anyway. Yeah, so there's that. And then, of course, just professionally and personally, I love the team. I love watching them. I love to be able to talk more about the games that I'm watching. Like, when I sit there and I'm watching the NBA on a given night, and I go to work the next day, a lot of days I don't talk about it because it ain't what people want to hear. They want to hear about it now. Ryan Pike, any word on the quarterback battle? I know it's early. Anybody pulling ahead? I don't know that I could say anybody's pulling ahead, Ryan, but I think the biggest takeaway is, we'll talk about this next week, I'm sure, after the spring game, but my feeling going into spring was that, look, they brought in Jaden Daniels to be the starter, that he would sort of emerge, solidify himself, and that Miles Brennan would transfer. That was my feeling going into spring, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think, if anything, the transition for Daniels, which is unenviable. I mean, the kid's only been on campus since middle of March, right? So he's been on campus a month. I think that transition, understandably, when you actually step back and think about it, it's been difficult. So it's not to say he won't be the guy when they play Florida State, but that's certainly not decided, and I think Miles Brennan's staying. So, trivia, format, small price to pay for delicious crawfish. Crawfish sweats means they were amazing and hard to quit eating. That's very true. When you have like 3 trays of crawfish, yes. All that sodium, oh my God. Like, I wish I had a steam room. Like, I wish I could go just sit and take a steam bath for like 30 minutes and just sweat all of this crap out of my body. If anyone owns a facility with a steam room and wouldn't mind me coming by later today just to like sit in it and just sweat out all this crap, I'd be grateful. All right. As always, I'll shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. Need a roof, call Hudco, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Gary Petrie, Coach O's in South Bend, really. That was last week. I think he's trying to get his son a job. At least that's what I'd read. Maybe Ross told me that too, but I think he's trying to get his son, who was on staff with him at LSU, or maybe it's Cody, the one who just finished at McNeese. I think that's who it is. It's Cody who just finished at McNeese, trying to get him a job on staff somewhere. Maybe he's a GA or something like that. So, Greg Phillips, Darren Gagnon, realistic prediction for the season for LSU baseball, 17, 13, 16, 14. So before the season started, Darren, my preseason prediction for LSU baseball was 17 and 13 in the league. I did not have them losing to State or Auburn. A&M or Auburn. So it kind of feels like I need to adjust it. But then again, I did not have them winning the Florida series, right? So I think, had they been able to get one against Arkansas and hit the halfway point at 8-7, I think replicating that second half and going 16 and 14 would have been a very realistic expectation. And if you're 16 and 14, you're not guaranteed it, but you're at least going to be in the conversation for a regional host site. You're not going to be a national seed, obviously. This team won't be. I mean, unless if this team does something like they did in 2008 when they ripped off 23 in a row or whatever, they're not going to be a national seed. That's okay. I mean, of course, that's going to be the goal and should be the goal, but probably not realistic for this team. You got Missouri at the box this weekend. You should win that series. You should take 2. Always hard to predict a sweep, but you should win that series. You got Georgia coming in. So then you got Georgia coming in. Remember, Georgia, a couple of weeks ago, their ace, Jonathan Cannon, went down with injury. I don't think it's season ending, but that's going to be big because LSU struggled with other teams' aces. And if Georgia comes in without Cannon, that's significant. So we'll wait and see. But the next 2 weekends are home weekends that are winnable against Missouri and against Georgia. And then you go to Alabama, and that's one that before the season looked really manageable, but Bama has been pretty good this year. I mean, they took a game off of Tennessee. Look at this. I did not look at any of the scores from yesterday. I know there were a couple games yesterday. Bama, Tennessee among them. So Tennessee did take 2 out of 3 Bama. So, I mean, Bama's a game over 500. They're at 8-7 in the league. You're at 7-8. So now your fortunes change dramatically from 1 week to the next. I mean, LSU went into this weekend a game behind Arkansas, and then they get swept. So, but your next 3 series, home against Missouri, home against Georgia, at Bama, are winnable, and then you're home against Ole Miss, who has really struggled this year. To the surprise of many. I mean, they're last in the West, or 5-10 in the conference. And that's a home series. So that's one that you got to think you should take, and then you're on the road at Vandy. And Vandy's 7-8 in the league right now. So, I mean, some of the things we thought coming into the year, like your back-to-back road trips to State and Arkansas. Arkansas obviously was very tough. You thought your home series against Ole Miss would be tough. Your road series against Bama might be winnable. Your road series against Vanderbilt was going to be damn near impossible. Well, I mean, the second half looks more manageable than we thought. Missouri's a winnable series. Georgia's without its ace. You go at Bama, which is tough, but they're hovering around 500. You're home against Ole Miss, which is last in the West, and you're at Vanderbilt, which is a game below 5. You have the same record in conference as Vanderbilt. You know what I mean? So it's manageable. It's manageable. Long way of saying that, can they still get a game above 500? Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think they can get 16 and 14. If you do that, you should be a regional host. Michael Cook, Ryan Amanda Guidry, Glenn Thomas, good morning, Matt. Zion watching on the bench while his teammates are playing in the playoffs. Disgust me. You mean disgust, but yes, disgusts. But I disagree with you on that one, Glenn. Here's the thing. It's pretty clear Zion wants to play. His his stepfather went on Jordy's show and said they believe he'll play. Zion's doing 360 dunks in pregame. I think he's out there showing he feels able. But the franchise don't want to risk it, and I don't blame him. If he's not 100%, there's no reason to run him out there and risk furthering an injury that's kept him out all year. So maybe the most important thing about this little run has been to show him, hey, look, this team is close. They love their coach. You got a lot of buy-in. And you can come be a giant part of this and take it to the next level. And oh, by the way, you got a top 10 pick coming in next year as well. So let's roll. So I'm going to disagree with you a little bit there, Glenn. I understand why they're not playing him. There's no reason to set him back any further after what you've missed this year for what little opportunity you have to win this series anyway. Jason Horn, Adam Zander, how's the O-line progressing in spring? Man, they like Will Campbell a lot. That much you know for sure. Let's take a peek during the spring game and hope we get to see ones-on-ones. It sounds like they're going to go offense against defense. They don't have enough to break the roster into 2 different rosters. So it was just offense against defense. hopefully we see ones-on-ones, and that'll be a really good indicator because I think your defensive line is your strongest unit on the defensive side. Mason Smith, Jaquelin Roy, Jacobian Guillory, Ali Gay, B.J. Ojolari. You're stacked over there. So let's see how the offensive line does against that group. Chance Babin, LSU women's golf won the SEC for the first time in 30 years. I did see that. Congrats to them. That's awesome. Megan Hurst on the bus headed to run the Boston Marathon this morning. All right, Megan. Good luck to you. That ain't no joke, man. You got to qualify for Boston. So you got to be a baller if you're out there running the Boston Marathon. So congrats to you on making it, and good luck. Hopeful for good weather. A strong wind at your back. Small to moderate hills. And hopefully you have your best day. That ain't no joke, man. Ryan Pike, let's see. Bama versus Tennessee this year. Tickets are selling $1,600 on SeatGeek. Tennessee ain't had anything to cheer for in a long time, y'all. Wrapping batches. I like crawfish, don't get me wrong, but the price nowadays are criminal. That's true. Ultimate Warrior, good morning. Connor O'Neill, bet the guy Glenn who wanted to make a skin suit out of you wouldn't mind you using his steam room. Yeah, I don't think I'd be going to somebody's house, bro. I mean, I meant more like I know the YMCA on Perkins has a steam room. I know, like, whatever the LA Fitness used to be Bally Sports in Perkins Row. I used to be a member there. So, like, I would lift, I'd do spin there, and I'd always do, like, steam after I'd work out. That should be a prerequisite. I can't imagine someone building a gym or a facility like that without having, like, either a sauna or a steam room. Sean Comiskey, I think the men's basketball team will get hot at the right time. I equate them to Vanderbilt championship team in 2014. LSU 10-run ruled them in the SC championship. Oh, baseball. You put MBB. MBB is men's basketball. Baseball would be BSB. If you're just looking for abbreviation. I mean, no big deal either way, but like that's the abbreviations they use. Yeah, Sean. I mean, look, here's the thing. So I get your comp. The problem is, like, nobody wins in the postseason in college baseball anymore without pitching. And this team doesn't have starting pitching. So that is going to be their bugaboo. Like, how much can a bullpen approach and a deep lineup pace them? We'll see. I mean, bats could get hot and they could slug their way through a regional or even a super regional win a weekend. Absolutely. But the way that it's formatted now in Omaha, man, you can't win without pitching. You just can't. Like, it's, especially if you fall in the loser's bracket, there's just too many games. So, I mean, that's not my expectation for this team, man. I would love to see this team host a regional, win it, and then go see if you can win a weekend in a super regional. Probably on the road, you'll be on the road against a really good team, like you were last year. But I think that would be a really good transitional year for Jay in year one if they're able to get done. Could they get hot and win a weekend and go to Omaha? Sure. But I think to have that as the expectation for this team, I think is a little ambitious. All right, Tato 3. Vernell Thomas, Chance Babin. All right. Guess LSU isn't Road Warriors after all. Chance, they played a really good team on the road and had a chance to win a game on Thursday, and they blew it. I mean, that's all it really comes down to, man. It's like, sometimes against a really good team, you may only have a chance to win one of the games in a weekend. And they had their opportunity, they blew it on Thursday because they kicked the ball around. You can't do it against a really good team. Arkansas is a really good team. I mean, I think a lot of us looked and were like, oh, the door's open. Arkansas lost to Florida. Yeah, Florida's a really good team too. That's a really nice series win for LSU, going down to Gainesville and getting that win. That series win. But Arkansas's good, man. I mean, when you say it out loud, that team did not lose a weekend last year. Now, and I understand they had Kevin Kopps on that team, but like, they did not lose a weekend. Didn't lose a single weekend last year. They won every weekend series. I mean, that's so freaking hard to do. A lot of those guys are back. But anyway, next two are at home, and they're both winnable. Missouri and Georgia. I know Georgia's second in the East right now. But without Jonathan Cannon, that feels more winnable. So let's see. Take care of Missouri this weekend first, and go from there. Busy week, y'all. Zurich's this weekend. We'll be doing Friday's AFR from down at Zurich. Obviously got, as mentioned, LSU baseball. Pontiff Classic is tomorrow against ULL. That's at the box. Really looking forward to that game as always. It'll be the final year of the Pontiff Classic, as a matter of fact. So we'll talk to Nick Pontiff today on the air, kind of promote the game, talk a little bit about the foundation, why they're into the game, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, should be a really good week. Obviously, Pels Sun series continues. So a lot going on this week. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Do me a favor, if you're on YouTube, smash that like button. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. Whenever we go live, we're there on the YouTube channel. So smash hit the subscribe button, hit the notification. You'll be notified whenever we go live. Facebook, like the page, share the post. If you haven't done so yet, as always. Brought to you by Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all have an awesome, awesome Monday. Good luck to Megan in the Boston Marathon. Expect a full report tomorrow. Looking for somewhere in the, I don't know your times, Megan, but I'm going to say let's go somewhere in the 3 hour and 3 hour 30 minutes. Am I tap dancing around it? I would guess. I know you got to qualify, so your time has to be within a certain range based on your age. But anyway, we'll be pulling for you, Megan. Hopefully it's a PR. Stay healthy, have a great run, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. LSU Daily returns this morning. Be on the lookout for it sometime before 10 a.m. LSU Daily, and then AFR 3. Peace.